Welcome, everybody, to another episode of IncCast, recorded live here at Walker Design Studios, the official home for Fanboys Incorporated. I am solo today. I don't know where Joe Nub is. Maybe he's on a toy run. He left me some notes to talk about, a lot of toy news, some eBay news. I don't know. Maybe he's just avoiding our guests. It seems to be his MO when this particular crew comes on, so we'll have to give him some shit about that. Our guests, as you saw from our tweets and our posts the last couple of days, we are joined again by the Blue Juice crew, I guess down to one, and we'll talk about that as well. So joining us today is Mr. Thomas Mumm from Blue Juice Comics. How are you, sir?
Hello, hello. I am an army of one, transmitting from Palm Bay, Florida right now.
Nice, nice. To give our listeners a little bit of a background, Mr. Tim Yates hit us up because
Slacker. He's probably sleeping still. He's been writing all night. Anyway, keep going.
Oh, that might be. He orchestrated this as Anne Bonny comes out today at your local retailers, and I believe on Comixology. So he wanted to talk about
Comixology earlier today.
Nice. So he wanted to come on and just shoot the shit with us. It's always good to have you guys. And now he's MIA. Maybe he's with Joe Nub. Maybe they are doing something together. Maybe they decided to duke it out somewhere. Who knows? Now, Tom, I haven't talked to you since New York City, man. I know you've been busy.
Yeah.
Season 3 for Comic Book Man, and now you guys are just getting ready for Season 4.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to Season 4. We're a well-oiled machine right now, and the guys are great, and the ratings for Season 3 were really good, and everyone's really super pumped about getting started on Season 4 and spending another summer in Red Bank, New Jersey.
Nice. Now, I heard that there's a casting crew actually at the New York Comic Fest, and that's something new that AMC and the guys have done before, so that was kind of neat to see that.
Oh yeah, were you actually witnessed the whole thing happen?
No, sadly, it's the first time I've missed a Cliff Galbraith production just with work and schedule. You know how it goes. So no, I didn't, but I saw the post. We shared it. We mentioned it here on the podcast, to give them some love, and I thought that was kind of neat to actually have them go right to the con. It was kind of neat.
Yeah, we're always looking for good products that are being sold and good transactions and good characters and good things for the guys to do. So they put out that casting call, and hopefully we'll have some good ones this year.
Nice. Now, to give our listeners, now you obviously own Blue Juice Comics, but you work on the show, Comic Book Man, who haven't known before. What is your role as far as the production and what goes on? What is your title for Comic Book Man?
I am the audio supervisor, so I'm actually one of the crew members, and I am responsible for everything you hear on the show, everything at least that's recorded live on location. I'm responsible for all that. Then, of course, it goes to some post guys who add music and sound effects and whatnot, but pretty much everything you hear the guys say, I am responsible for.
Oh, nice. So that definitely keeps you busy throughout so you're there every day.
Yeah, I'm there every day. I mean, last year I made a jaunt to San Diego Comic-Con and a few other trips, and then I had somebody replace me for a few days. But I've been there since Season 1, and it's really one of the greatest jobs in the world because I get to just sit all day in a comic book store and listen to, my friends make jokes.
No, I can die. And of course, the after-hour poker games.
Yeah, we won't, for legal reasons, we won't discuss. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, we do have our poker games. Hopefully those will continue. I'm looking forward to those happening, and hopefully they won't get too big to where, the law finds out.
No location. We won't give out the location.
Clandestine location somewhere near the secret stash. That's all I'm saying.
Somewhere, that's right. It's a virtual room, really. There's nothing really there. Since I talked to you, you guys have been blowing up. Anne Bonny is doing really well. Top 400 for issue number 1 that came out 2 months ago. Blue Juice, or the Accelerators, issue 6, wrapped up that storyline a few months ago as well. What's going on now? I know you did there's a special pack to get all 6 issues for Blue Juice, for the Accelerators through Blue Juice. And are you going to put this in a trade?
Yeah, actually, we're working on the trade right now. We're hoping we're going to hit New York Comic-Con with a fury this year. We're going to have Anne Bonny 3. We're going to have the Accelerators trade, and we're going to have our children's book that we've been working on for a little while called Dudley and the Toy Keeper's Chest. Not to mention a bunch of merch, including Anne Bonny T-shirts and whatnot. So we're hoping everything comes out in October. That's the plan right now. We haven't solicited the trade for Accelerators with Diamond yet, so it'll probably be a November release for Diamond and into comic book stores. But we're open to have copies of it for sale at New York Comic Con. Mainly, it's the ball's in my court right now with the trade. Obviously, all the art is done for issues 1 through 6. And we're compiling the pages. It's going to probably be like a 180-page book. It's pretty thick. And the reason it's in my court is because we're trying to figure out a cover. Like the cover art is so important for a trade that we're not taking it lightly. And, I could probably pull up a 100 email chain that is going back and forth on what the design should be. Does it feature the main characters on the front? Does it have the donut as the main thing? Is it a full black cover, contrasty, or is it a lot of art like the Marvel DC ones? It's amazing that where art and marketing collide when it comes to something like this that's permanent and that's going to be out in the world forever.
Oh, it's very important. And we've seen the covers for trades. They're amazing. Whether you get an Alex Ross painted cover, or you can go real simple, or you can do. Now, will Walt be involved in possibly doing the cover?
No, Walt is, Walt's been super slammed with Cryptozoic Man, and then he was dealing with a lot of that even after its release, and then he's been doing some cons like Niagara Falls, and even though he doesn't really particularly like doing them, so no, we were trying to figure out if we if Walt does it or if Gavin does it or if we go with an outside artist, and I think overall it just made sense for Gavin to do it, just because Walt is super busy and he's got to gear up for Comic Book Men season 4. I mean, he's he's kind of the linchpin to the entire show. I mean, I know it's Kevin, of course, is a big name, and Brian, Ming, and Mike are huge, but Walt is the guy that is the glue that holds everything together. And I would hate to pull him away to work on our cover. So Gavin is going to design it, or Gavin is going to draw it. We're just trying to figure out what design is, and we've been bouncing back and forth a lot of different ideas and styles, and do we go with something Marvel DC? I mean, to me, those trade books they're just walls of people. There's mountains of people, whether it be Justice League or whatnot, and a lot of color. But that for an indie book kind of gets lost on the shelves.
Oh, true. Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, I understand where you're going with that. So you want something really to stand out on those shelves for that.
Exactly. So then you start looking at something like Saga, something like East of West, and those are really like iconic, really cool covers. Especially Saga, like what Brian K. Vaughan does.
Oh my God, they're crazy.
Insane. And then you look at Preacher and Y, and you look at and even Walking Dead. Walking Dead has a consistency among its covers. It's pretty much that same kind of split, and then across the bottom you have, if you line them all up across the bottom, all the zombies line up and all that. Or another one we'll be looking at is like Planetary, which is of the two like almost sideways letterboxing, where it's black on the sides and then sketches of the characters in the middle, stuff like that.
So much to go over.
Oh
so
God,
much.
I know.
It's crazy.
It's fun. It's fun to sit there and kind of pass these back and forth and go, what about this Hellboy cover? And what about this? And not that we're necessarily trying to emulate these covers, but we do want to know what's been done in the past and what works and what doesn't work.
And what stands out for your readers, most definitely what's on the shelf. Now, will there be some extra, like a DVD extras, trade extras inside, some pinups and stuff like that?
Yeah, Ronnie wrote pretty thick for the individual issues. I mean, I think the smallest one's 22, and I think issue 3 was 22, but everything is 24 to 28 pages.
Yep.
So you start getting into thick trade paperbacks, starts costing a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
So we are going to include obviously all the covers and all of the inside story art, and then a lot of the pinups that we had in the back of our regular books, because we pretty much had 1 to 3 pinups by some established artists and then some up-and-coming artists. We had Mark Morales did a pinup for us. C.P. Wilson of Stuff of Legend fame did an amazing pinup for us, and just people that we would become friends with or meet at cons and through mutual friends, we would ask them to do pinups. Craig Cermak, and then a lot of up-and-coming people like Carly Frank, who's an amazing up-and-coming artist out of the Kubert School that's friends with Tim Yates. Like, she did a great one for us. So the majority of the pinups are going to be in there. And then we have a couple of little special things too, some sketches and some DVD extra type stuff.
Very cool, very cool. I can't wait. Now we'll be able to get that at New York. We'll be at New York as well. Once again, I'll be with Unit 5 at their booth, and we'll be podcasting again. So maybe this time Robert Bruce can pod bomb us again when I sit at your table.
Oh God, hopefully not. No, I'm just kidding. We actually are out of the small press area this year at New York Comic Con. We got our own booth, so we should be. Do you know if Unify's in the same spot?
Yeah, we're going to be in the same spot because we have the car is going to be there. So I'm assuming
Right.
we'll have the same exact spot we are. You going to be over by us?
We're a lot closer to you guys now.
Oh, sweet. Was there a particular reason why you did that?
Well, we last year, we had a 6x8 small press area, and the small press area is amazing. Like just the amount of talent there, and the people that are there are great. But, we have, I go, and then Ronnie's there, and Tim's there, and and then Mike and Ming spent some time there.
Right. And you got Adam there.
Adam was there, and Rob Bruce was there, and Jeremy was there. So 6x8 booth with 6-10 big dudes is just not enough room.
Right.
As much as we love each other, we don't love each other that much. So we really wanted to kind of move out into the premium booths and onto the floor, and they're not cheap, but it made sense. And so we're going to be a lot closer to you guys. Actually, I think we're like 4 or 5 aisles away from you guys.
Oh, nice. That'll be fun. And there's more. I mean, the small press area is awesome. It's filled with great artists, like you said, but it's so tight in there, and it's hard. If like when I went last year, going in with the exhibitor's badge, your vendor badge, there's nobody there, so it's easy. So I always try to get a layout. All right, where are you guys? Where's a couple of the other, and get it. When it gets crowded, I'm like, it's a good thing because I would have never found you. It's just crazy how tight and packed, and how many people really spend the time in that small press area. It's awesome.
Yeah, you were you went in and scouted early. I think you got there when I was still setting up the booth, and I think I was kind of scrambling to set up the booth while you were like, hey, what's going on? And I'm like, but then you came back later. But it was good that you were able to scout us so we could do a podcast.
Oh yeah, definitely.
With Ronnie, which was great. We'll have to do that again.
We'll definitely do that again. Guys, we are also live tweeting, so if you have any questions for Thomas Mama about the accelerators and Bonnie, or the whereabouts of Mr. Tim Yates, tweet us at Fanboys Inc. Tom, we're going to just go right quick into some of the news that came out this week and interject, as always, if you have anything. First up, Edgar Ramirez. Edgar Ramirez is in the running, supposedly, for the lead as Doctor Strange. If you're not familiar with him, he's from Wrath of the Titans and Born Ultimatum. We put up an article about that just 2 days ago. He's got the look. I don't know, Tom, if you're familiar with his work. He has that look, and we've always thought that, I personally have thought that Liam Neeson would have been a great choice for Doc Strange, just his look.
Right. A little too old now, or do you think he would be fine?
I don't know. The man's doing Taken 3. I'm like, he's still doing some action, but I think for a Marvel Disney franchise, they were obviously looking possibly to go younger, in their early 30s,
right?
So that if the franchise does carry on, I mean, they're planning stuff all the way to 2018 to obviously 2022. I don't know if he would be able to do that. Now, Doc Strange isn't one of your most action-packed heroes. I mean, he's not doing a lot of jumping and running and dodging. So I'm not sure. But I like the Ramirez choice. Are you familiar with any of his work?
Zero Dark 30. I didn't see Wrath of the Titans. He's kind of been a character actor in a lot of these, so hopefully it'll help him, get a leg up. But it's interesting that they're doing this with somebody who's not like a known. It's a smaller character comic book wise, and to put an unknown actor in there is kind of impressive that they wouldn't put a Liam Neeson, somebody that has a box office draw.
True. Reports have stated that Doc Strange is going to be very, very important into the Marvel universe, and we speculated that because of the rumors that we've heard that, and we just heard saw an article last week that Robert Downey is already done filming for Avengers 2. He's done. He's already done, which means to me that, and it's been stated that he's done as Iron Man, that he is no longer signed a contract. Now those are basically rumors, but I could see Doc Strange going into Phase 3 as the character that binds the universe together like Iron Man did. It's a huge set of shoes to fill. I mean, Robert Downey is so charismatic. And Iron Man as a character, nobody knew who Iron Man was 8 years ago, and now look at him. So bringing on somebody like that, he's got to fill those shoes, and I think Ramirez would be great. I still personally feel that Liam Neeson, he's so charismatic on the screen. He
Hmm.
takes the scene. When he comes onto the scene, it's his. There's
Yeah,
nobody else that can step it. No matter who he's acting with, it's his scene. I mean, he
right.
he has that presence, and I think Doc Strange needs that really mysterious presence where just walking in a room and saying two magical words or spells, and
Mm.
he's got the crowd hooked, and I think that's going to be key. And if they're saying he's very important, then I have a feeling that we're not too far off saying that it's going to start tying in the universe
Yeah.
with this particular character.
They've made some strange choices over the last few years that, we've, as fans, we've kind of nitpicked beforehand. But, overall, they've done a pretty good job keeping the whole thing alive and going. Liam Neeson, though, that would be great. I just watched, I think he was amazing in the Lego movie. I don't know if you saw
I haven't yet, but I've heard that. I've heard that.
Yeah, he was great in that. But anyway, yeah, he just might be a little long in the tooth for this particular character, especially if they want to grow it across the different across the different Marvel Universe
Right.
stories. So we'll see. I'm sure they got plenty of plans ahead, and I don't necessarily think that Robert Downey Jr. is the crux of all those. So if he exits, it would be a shame because he is so great as that character. But there's plenty of other characters that are coming.
Right. Very true.
We're going to get Spider-Man Avengers universe at some point, I think. And there's always talk of Hugh Jackman and Wolverine coming into the Avengers universe, and so I think we got a lot. There's a lot coming. Plus, now we have Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch, and they've opened it up so much that it's fun seeing these kind of secondary characters.
Oh, I agree with you. I find it hard to believe that Fox will play well with Marvel. They've already there's been rumors
True.
already because of the Fantastic Four, which is filming right now in Baton Rouge. We put an article up about that 2 days ago. They're changing Baton Rouge into New York City, showing
Yeah,
some
yeah, but
clips.
there's this little. Sorry to interrupt, but
Go ahead.
there's this weird little clip at the end of Spider-Man. That whole deal with
Hmm.
Mark Webb and Fox and Marvel and Disney. That was that an olive branch? Do you think that's
No,
maybe that? No, you don't think so. That was
that
just a contractual obligation. And
that
that's
was
it.
a contractual obligation because they allowed him to go on to the next movie to
Yeah,
do it, and the deal was we'll put this in at the end.
right. And
So,
the thing is, I was excited to see that because I had read about it beforehand.
right.
But then to me, once I saw it, I was like, this is just a weird little piece of a trailer in the middle of credits. Like I didn't get
Right.
it really.
Yeah, it had to settle some contracts going on and why people were shifted, and they kind of went, and appeased them by putting this in there.
Yeah,
We have heard, I should say, Sony might give up Spider-Man
yeah,
after the lackluster sales domestic wise. They've seen that it's not doing well, and
yeah.
I've said this from day one. The minute Disney bought Marvel, their goal was to bring every
Well, they
character
got to
back
get it
home.
all. They got to get it all back
Yeah,
on.
and they're gonna. They are the biggest powerhouse out there. I mean, they are the largest toy merchandiser in the world. As
Damn, I
far
should have
as
bought stocks.
yeah,
Should have bought
right. I
stocks in
mean,
that ring.
as far as whatever their merchandising and what they franchise out, as far as or licensing, I should say.
Hmm.
Disney's no joke. I have a feeling before we all are 6 feet under, every character is going to be back under the Marvel house. I'm
Yeah,
sure of it. Whether or not it's going to cost a ton of money or not, who knows? Maybe Marvel has decided. Marvel and Disney are waiting to see Fox flop and be like, all right, we gave you another shot.
right.
You got to use those characters to keep the license going, or as long as
Yeah,
we lease it. You flop. This is your last chance for a reboot. We'll take it back now for
right.
pennies.
Well, and at some point for Fox or Sony, it becomes diminishing returns. If it's costing them more money to make these movies than they're making on them in the back end, then it might make sense to just cut their losses and sell it back to Disney.
Yeah, I would.
Yeah,
Yeah, to take what you can out of it. It would be great for fans. It'd be awesome to see Spider-Man. He is part of the Avengers, so
yeah,
that would be really great to see that. There's your comedic element. One
right.
more step to making it truer to the comics. Speak.
Did you? I don't know if you've talked about this on previous podcasts,
Go
but
ahead.
what'd you think of the latest Spider-Man?
Eh.
Really?
It was like a
Just
video
that?
game. It was just, and it was
Yeah,
also too much CGI.
yeah,
Um, in saying that, well, how can you have a comic book movie without CGI? I get
yeah,
that, but it was okay. I mean, there is a time when you put too many villains or too many heroes in a flick and it
right,
ruins it. And I think this was a prime example of too many villains, cramming in too many things at once.
Right.
The Rhino got no screen time really. What was the point of having him in there? Was it to lead up to a possible Amazing Spider-Man 3, and then we get a Sinister Six movie,
Yeah.
possibly? But I think it was a really crappy attempt.
Right.
I mean, it was. I mean, obviously, domestic wise, you could tell.
Yeah.
It was international. We fly. X-Men, same thing. Internationally, they go nuts.
Well, that's become more important to studios now. It used to be that the U.S. market was number one, and then they would worry about foreign markets. But it's proven now with China and everything else that foreign market is more important right now because that's where they're really making the money, and domestic is secondary.
Oh,
so as long as they're making a lot of money worldwide, they'll still keep making.
It doesn't matter where it comes from.
Yeah, exactly. What about Days of Future Past?
I loved it.
Yeah, I thought it was great.
I thought it was great. I mean, even my biggest problem was Kitty Pryde. Her role in the whole thing and her power set, per se, that she could phase people through time now, that kind of bothered me. But
I thought that was a clever way to basically keep her involved because, she is the main character in Days of Future Past, but she's not a big enough character screen-wise to really make it count. Wolverine is the one that everybody goes to see when it comes to, not the comic book fans, but like everybody, the mass audience.
Right.
So it just made sense to have Wolverine be the one going back and forth through time. So I thought she was not going to be utilized at all. So to even see her as being kind of the one who deals with all of the phasing, I thought was a really clever way of getting her in.
Right. Yeah. Oh, no, I totally agree. I mean, like I said, I overlooked that, because if you're a purist, you're like, really? What the hell's going on here?
Yeah.
I got to tell you, I'm kind of disappointed. I wanted a quick screenshot of cover 141. I really thought that they were going to try to make that image show up in the movie somehow. And I know a lot of fans were like, if that's all we saw, that'd be awesome. I thought they were going to try to do that, and they didn't. I kind of was disappointed at that point. Those are the little fanboy Easter eggs that that are really cool. But but overall,
well, I think they were more interested in tying together all of the X-Men movies. I mean, they were still. I think they had their moments with the where they were true to the books, and the overall story is true to the idea of the book. But I think they were just trying to kind of sweep up some of the messes they made with some of the other movies not really necessarily being coherent to each other.
Right. I mean, if you look at the movie, you could almost say X3 never happened from what they did.
Yeah.
So
they wiped it away. They wiped any trace of Brett Ratner away.
Yeah. My biggest complaint, though, overall was Mystique. They made her such a whiny bitch that she's a master assassin. She is a badass, and they just made her so emo. And I was like, really? I don't get it, But it is. But overall, I loved it. The Age of Apocalypse teaser at the end, where we see the four horsemen. That's huge, right there. That's just amazingly huge. Now, will we see Archangel? Who knows?
Yeah.
But I think they're on the right track with that.
Then will it be? Who will be Archangel?
Oh, I don't know.
Was it three had Angel in it, right? Three had.
Yes.
What's his name? Oh, great actor from.
Oh yes, I know who you're talking.
Yuma, and Lone Survivor. Anyway,
I don't know if they'll have Archangel. They might use the original. Now, there's been many versions of the Four Horsemen throughout the years for Apocalypse. So, who knows? Either way, I think it's going to be really great. We know that the franchise is finally going to put in younger actors. It's not going to be the exact same actors for this movie, but there's so many possibilities with this. This could really maybe bring back the X-Men domestically, as far as everybody's wanting to see it. I just think, we know a little bit more than the general public just because of what we do, but I think the Age of Apocalypse could reset X-Men as a huge franchise, and I'd love to see the alternates. I'd love to see the Age of Apocalypse version of Wolverine where he's only got the one hand, or Cyclops where he's really got the one eye. Those kind of things would be really cool. But at the same time, I feel maybe you got 15 years worth of X-Men movies out here, and the general public finally knows who everybody is, and all of a sudden we start throwing in these variants. It could confuse them. So I don't know if the studio would do that. I don't know. I would like to see it though.
Right. Well, as long as we keep going, they'll keep making them.
Oh, I'm sure. We mentioned Sony a little while ago as well, giving up possibly Spider-Man rights. They just announced a possible rumor that Chris Hemsworth has been talking with the directors in Sony about Doc Savage coming to the big screen and him being the lead role. I remember as a kid that my uncle would be reading the little pocket trades of Doc Savage, the little ones you could just put right in your back pocket, the painted artwork. I loved the stories as a kid. This would be really good, and it would set Sony apart for actually having their own part of a character and not having it through Marvel or Disney. It's more of his character has been in comics, but this is more of a fiction novel character throughout the ages, and I think this would be really cool to see something different but still superhero-ish.
Yeah, it's weird to me to see the same actor playing multiple characters like this. Like
Johnny Storm in Captain America.
Johnny Storm, Captain America, more, even more so. Ryan Reynolds as everything.
Yeah, right. That's right.
Seems to be crazy that he, is Deadpool and that he's Green Lantern and everything else. I just feel like it's a little too much. I kind of it didn't bother me as much with Captain America and Johnny Storm. There's two totally different characters, and I think he played them both differently. And they were far enough apart from each other, but this just seems like he's Thor. I feel like we should find somebody else for something else.
What do you mean, Thor? You mean
for Chris Hemsworth?
Oh, Chris Hemsworth. Yeah, true. I mean, he is playing that bulky big guy again, so if you fit your role, you fit your role. You know what I'm saying? I just want to see this on the screen. I've always liked this character. We'll have a couple articles up, man, possibly in the Spotlight article over on fanboysinc.com, just for people, if you're not aware of who he is, we'll give you the history and what this character really is. It's pretty cool, I think. You can check out a little bit of it today. Mucka just put up an article today about Doc Savage and the rumor of Chris Hemsworth. Movie stuff is going nuts. It's almost overshadowing the comic industry as a whole. We go to cons. We just, we will be at. Are you guys going to Baltimore?
I don't think so, because we're going to be in the middle of shooting the show.
Okay.
We went there last year for the show. Our next one is Florida SuperCon.
Yes.
Which is 4th of July weekend down in Miami. Tim will be there. Gavin with the Accelerators will be there. A bunch of the Blue Juice guys. Ming and Brian Johnson will be there, and also Brian O'Halloran.
Oh, very nice.
Dante from Clerks will be there, amongst other guests. There's Jason Momoa from Game of Thrones. There's a bunch of Game of Thrones folks.
Aquaman.
Yeah, right. There's a bunch of or Conan the Barbarian, if you want to look at that.
Yeah, there you go.
There's a bunch of Spartacus people, and obviously Power Rangers and all that sort of stuff. And that's a pretty good con for us. It's somewhat of a local one for us. And Mike Broder, the organizer, is a friend. And last year Kevin was there, which was great. Kevin Smith was there. So we're gonna have a lot of fun. Ming and I are the beer pong champions of Florida SuperCon after hours. So
you gotta hold your title.
Yeah, last year we were, the last night we were there, we were just having a few drinks in the hotel, and all of a sudden a bunch of guys came in and they were like, "You're Ming Chen, we want to play beer pong with you," and they literally wheeled a beer pong table into the room that we were at. This is like 5 o'clock in the morning.
Wow.
In the hotel, and Ming and I had like a miracle story where we were way far behind, and we came back at the end, and do you believe in miracles? And we won the whole thing, and now we're champions. So we'll see how that goes again this year.
Nice.
I literally fly home from that and start working on Comic Book Men Season 4 the next day, both Ming and I and Brian.
Oh, boy, that's going to be a rough day of shooting.
Yeah, exactly. Just like it was last year.
No, but it's fun. But, we go to cons. We just got back from the Albany Con that's local here with us. And the turnouts are great. And, like Cliff Galbraith's cons are really focused on comics, not so much the media. Sooner or later, we see more and more cons putting in more and more of the media stars. Yeah. I don't have a problem with it. I heard Rob Bruce had said he likes both cons. There's a place for both, and you have your purists for the comics and indie comics, and then you have your other ones that like comics but they want to go see the William Shatners and all the stars that are out there. We see such a grow of cons in the last year, more so now that we're on 7 cons this year compared to we only did 2 last year.
Right.
And there's one every weekend from now till November.
There's more than one, like that weekend.
Yeah, that weekend there's 4.
There were like 4 of them in the tri-state area.
Yeah. So it's interesting to see it. I think media is going to be good. I just hope it doesn't overshadow the comics. Obviously, the comics are the source material that we get a lot of these movies from. I just hope it doesn't overshadow that.
Well, I think that, the comic cons were there for comic books before the media stuff became big, and I think the comic cons will be there after the media stuff dies down. So meanwhile, whatever draws attention to the comic books and whatever helps get comic books out there and into kids' hands and out to the general public, any help that we can get is good. And if it means having The Walking Dead as the #1 TV show and, superhero movies as the #1 movies and having those media guests at the cons to bring, 10,000, 40,000, 150,000 people to the Comic-Cons, then someone at least will see our book out of that, 150,000 people at San Diego Comic-Con. Even if 1% of the people see our comic, that's huge.
Oh, big by far. Same thing. New York is growing, and they got the week celebration now, Monday through Wednesday, and going obviously till the Sunday. But that's nuts. That's huge. Now some people are like, really, you're just going to stretch it out and want our money? Well, the same people that say that, you're going to give your money. I mean, they got a lot of great events going on there. There's some podcasts going on there. We threw our hat in the ring, so we'll see if we'll be down there during the week. Podcasting from a venue, but I like that. It shows right now. You've heard me say this before. It's a geek renaissance. We're in it. This is it. And it's still going up. I'm just
and we need to ride the wave.
Yes, by far. And I'm gonna be sad the day I see it peak, because you know what happens when you peak.
It's all downhill.
It's all downhill after that. But yeah, we'll be at New York City. We'll be at Baltimore. We'll be at where are we going this year? We'll be at Baltimore, Rhode Island, Granite State, and New York City, and possibly one more after that. So our con circuit is nuts for us, and I love doing it. It's a lot of work, but I got to tell you, I just love just being on the floor, talking with fans. It makes it all worth it when you got somebody coming up to you, and I know you guys are like that. When somebody comes and says, "I love Ann Bonny," oh my God, the accelerators! It makes that 4-hour travel or those hours of setting up a booth or all the back end stuff all worth it. Just for one person to come up to you, it's amazing.
Absolutely. It's a mutual admiration society amongst everyone. Everyone just has fun, gets along, and talks, stories and comics, and you can't beat it. So that's why, again, we need to ride the wave, because it may end at some point, which, I would hate to see that happen, but let's enjoy it while it's here.
Oh, by far. Last thing for movies, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles trailer 2 came out yesterday. They look pretty badass. They look pretty hardcore. I don't know if I'm still 100% sold on the look, the face of the turtles.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it?
But we speculated once again that the initial rumors when this first came out years ago, that they were going to be aliens, and that that they weren't going to be just turtles. They're going to be from another planet. I speculating that obviously that's changed, but they kept the initial designs, and that's why they're bigger. That's why they're not smaller. And I think they just left the designs. I love the uniforms. They're hardcore. They're gritty. The action is amazing. It's not our little kids' Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Right.
Shredder looks cool. Maybe too big, maybe too robotic for my tastes. But overall, I think this is, it's a Michael Bay. It's going to be visually stunning. We already know that. Will everything else fall into place? I don't know. I'm going to go see it. I thought it looks great. Visually, Michael Bay can't go wrong. I'm going to enjoy it. There's been a lot of hate for it. I was on a thread last night. Just people just hating on the trailer. I'm like, guys, it's just a trailer. You can't give it 100% criticism from a trailer. I go and watch it. I mean, if you don't want to see it, then don't see it. Don't spread all this fanboy hate. I mean, it is Michael Bay. We know his track record, but still, I think it's a shot, a good shot to try this. I mean, and it's got Megan Fox. She's cute looking. So, I mean, you can't go wrong there.
That's actually I'm sure I'm jumping on this bandwagon too, but Megan Fox is one of my issues with the movie.
Mine too, but she's cute.
April O'Neil fan.
Yeah, she's cute. I mean, let's be honest. The minute she opens her mouth, she's not as cute. But I mean, But you gotta put that cute girl somewhere. There's got to be a cute girl. I mean, maybe they would have.
Yeah.
I would have. Emma Stone might have been all right. I like Emma
Right.
Stone.
Right.
She's cute as well.
She's good in anything.
Yeah, definitely. But I'm excited for it. Everybody's saying, well, it's not our child or childhood Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and I'm like, you're right. Things have to change. Things have to grow and adapt. Sometimes it goes wrong. Sometimes it goes better. We can't always have, look at Batman. I mean, 66 Batman and reruns was my Batman, but I'm not bitching about Nolan's Batman.
Well, it was definitely 66 Batman was my Batman too, and then when the Keaton one came out, we were thinking, oh, this is going to stink because it's not going to be campy, it's going to be dark, it's going to be Tim Burton, and then that became our Batman.
Exactly. So maybe these will be our turtles.
Right.
Who knows?
Maybe. Like you said. Well, the thing is whether we bitch about it or not, we're still going to go see it.
They're going to get my money. I mean, they're going to go get my money. Speaking of money, Joe Nub is not here, but he remotely sent me in a little reported piece. Now, I don't know, Tom, if you've been watching our Facebook page, but there was an eBay sale going out for a super rare Star Wars Droids cartoon action figure, Caleb Zelak. The item sold on eBay for $50,000. In Joe Nub's in Joe Nub's words, fucking insane. I've never known a toy or prototype to sell that much money. Right. Joe contacted the seller to find out where he got it from and if the winning bidder actually paid for the item. The seller simply stated that the winner did not pay yet, but if it falls through, he has another buyer lined up.
Wow, for the same thing. Price.
Now this is where it gets a little tricky, Tom. You're gonna like this. Recently on RebelScum.com's forum, there was a discussion going on about this auction and the price. Some of the fans over there think the seller had friends bid on the item to up that price so he could then sell it to someone else for the price. And they actually provide some evidence through this by eBay bidding statistics. It's speculated that the toy has been a subject to high-profile shell bidding to ensure a higher private stake sale down the road. The information, along with the fact that he told me that he was a private buyer lined up if the eBay deal falls through. So there you go, getting a little shady on eBay, having your friends bid. Right. And nobody's going to buy it because you don't really get penalized for not paying. You just get a strike against you or a bad star rating.
Right, bad review.
And if you consistently do it, they shut you down. But this is nuts. This is really weird. $50,000.
$50,000. Is this, how many of these were made? That's why it's the rarest action figure auctions on eBay with 1 day left. I'm looking at it right now on your Facebook page. Currently valued at $25, so it doubled what it was currently valued at.
Yeah.
Eventually, and that's what that's what the report is saying, that people were betting it to get it from 25
to drive the
50.
rates up. Yeah, to drive the rate up. And so he could sell it to this private dealer that's been contacting him. So he's playing a bidding war and going, well, eBay, I can sell it for $50,000. What are you going to give me? That's kind of really shady. I don't know how many of these were made. Joe would know more about that, and we'll ask him when he comes when he's back in the studio in the next couple of weeks. But it's funny how you have to watch eBay. Joe's always told me never buy now button. Always wait it out a little bit because I'm like, I don't want to wait another week for this thing. I want it now. And I'm like, bam. He's like, you could have saved yourself like $50 if you just waited. Look at the current bid. Or you watched the bid, it would have never gotten that high. So very shady going on. It is a rare toy. I don't know how many were made.
Well, Nub says here on your Facebook that the figure was never produced and only a few prototypes exist, but none with original packaging like seen here. So this could be, this could be a one of a kind.
Yeah, definitely. The highest one I've seen was the Boba Fett shooting missile prototype, which sold for $15,000 on Toy Hunter last year. So and I believe there's 3 in existence or 2 in existence. So he got one and he brokered it actually, and MMA fighter or a promoter bought it for $15,000.
Wow, I got the one when I was a kid. I got the one that was made after it. The one that you could send away the proof of purchase for Star Wars and get it. I did get that one, but I never had the one that shot, or I would have sold it by now.
Oh my God, yeah, I would have. That would have funded Fanboys Inc. for a long time.
Yeah, I brought on Comic Book Man last year. I brought in a bunch of my stuff that's still in my parents' basement from Star Wars because I had everything when I was a kid. I was 6 when the first one came out, so I had everything in I was that's all I bought. Like I have Matchbox cars and Star Wars toys, and that's it. and I still had a lot of it, and I brought it over down to Red Bank last year, and Rob Bruce was drooling over all of it, and we kept a bunch of it in our tech room, you know, like the big AT-AT and the Millennium Falcon.
Oh, you have the original AT-AT and
I have the original AT-AT
Oh.
in perfect condition. I played with this stuff, but it still was in perfect condition. So, and I had it all just around the production office, just laying around, and I even have the original Snaggletooth. You know, and Rob Bruce was going crazy over that and was gonna buy it from me on the spot.
Joe's got that too as well.
Yeah, yeah.
So how many times did Rob start offering you cash for those toys?
Well, he definitely offered me money for the Snaggletooth right away, and I definitely had to check his pockets every time he walked out.
Yeah, right. Rob, no backpacks. Empty your pockets here. Oh, that's a metal detector right here too. Just walk through this, please.
Well, according to Rob, he's the most honest person he's ever met, but I don't necessarily believe that.
That's coming from him. Come on.
Yeah, of course.
Oh man, that's too funny. He kills me. He's too funny. Also in toy news, since I'm taking over the role of Joe Nubb, BotCon wrapped up this past week in Pasadena, California, and awesome news coming out. The Transformers Windblade miniseries is selling what's he saying here? Selling every week and follow up a mini being worked on at the same artist and writing team. Today's issue 30 of More Than Meets the Eye concludes the trial of Megatron, and we learn how he now commands the Lost Light starship, and I believe he's switch sides. I think he's an Autobot now instead of a Decepticon. Jazz will be featured in more in issues 31 and 32 of Robots in Disguise. And in this November, in the Drift Empire Stone miniseries, we learn that Drift has been up to what he has been up to, leaving the Lost Light in issue 16. Awesome new Transformer Generation action figures are coming soon in all sizes and prices. The new Optimus will be big, but Megatron will be bigger. OP is a truck, Optimus Prime is a truck, and Megs is a tank this time. So that's kind of cool. I always liked the Megatron as a gun. I don't know why they keep changing him to all these other things. I remember him as a kid.
It's not PC.
Oh, PC.
You can't give a kid a gun these days.
Well, give him an orange tip. Isn't that what they do? They just paint an orange tip at the end of it.
I'm waiting for the criminals to start painting orange tips at the end of the room.
You wouldn't. I don't. You know what? Don't say that, because all of a sudden now, I learned this from Fanboys Inc. podcast, and I'm surprised nobody. You're right. I'm surprised nobody's done that yet.
Right.
As far as a criminal, what are you talking about? It's not real. It's got an orange tip on it. Movie comes out this Friday as well. Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch roll in with Optimus Prime Friday. You gonna go see it, Tom?
I think I'm gonna try and see it this weekend with the kids, but if I don't, then I probably won't get a chance to see it until Blu-ray because of SuperCon and then right into comic book.
Now we talked.
Let's see, we do like to do trips out, you know, as a group, as a crew with the cast. We do like to take trips out to the movies like Pacific Rim and any of the big comic book movies that come out. We do try and make a date with Mike and Ming and whoever on the crew.
It's always fun to go with a group. It's always fun to go with a group.
Exactly. Because we make our own audience.
Now, we just talked about the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles trailer and the first trailer, and, you know, you can't give a whole 100% of what you think the movie's going to be, but these trailers, you know, I think I'm happy with Mark Wahlberg in this. I know that Witwicky is no longer.
Yeah.
He's gone apeshit.
Which is good.
Yeah. Megan Fox obviously is gone. I
know it's weird to say, but I watched Pain and Gain.
Yeah.
Which is Michael Bay's the last movie he did.
Yep. And
it was surprisingly awesome.
Really?
Like, I was shocked at how good it was. I had no desire to see it. Ronnie Porto made me watch it.
What?
You know, and said that this movie's, and I never would have thought Ronnie Porto would make me watch a Michael Bay, Mark Wahlberg, The Rock movie. But he sat us down last season and we watched it and we're like, this movie is ridiculous.
What?
And it was so ridiculous that it was good.
So Ronnie's looking at it from a writer's standpoint, obviously.
I don't think there's much writing.
Well, that's what I'm saying. But he enjoyed it.
He loved it.
Okay.
And when he raves about something, it's really bizarre. Actually, we recorded the little answering machine recording to Fanboys Inc. when you guys did your anniversary issue.
Yes.
And then watched it right after that.
Oh,
because
nice.
Ronnie insisted, and I loved it. So I am a little excited about Michael Bay, Mark Wahlberg reunion. In this,
yeah. I mean, he's got a bad rap for the past Transformer movies, but once again, visually stunning. The CGI looks amazing. The action scenes are great. There's a lot of explosions.
Yeah. I'm not a big fan of the original trilogy, Michael Bay trilogy. I actually think it's pretty horrible.
I
So
agree. I
looking
agree.
forward to a reboot. And again, Wahlberg, I go back and forth. Sometimes I think he's great, and sometimes like Planet of the Apes, I think he's awful, or The Happening,
Oh
I
my
think he's
gosh,
awful. So
Planet of the Apes. Oh, awful, awful movie, Planet of the Apes. Yeah.
I'm going to get my chimp, sir. Like the worst lines in the history of movies.
Tell
I'm
your
going to
mother.
get
Tell your
my
mother I said hi for me, will you?
That's one of the best lines ever. So yeah, I'll see how this goes and judge it afterwards, not by the trailer. Trailers have been impressive though lately. I remember the Winter Soldier trailer right away. It
Yes,
was like I can't wait to
amazing.
see it. And Superman, Man of Steel was still like to me is 100 times better than the movie. Like if they had made just that trailer, I would have been happy. But
Yeah, yeah. Don't get me on MOS. No way. I can't
but
stand
the
that movie.
trailer
That
is still
trailer is amazing. Yes.
was that Days of Future Past I watched over and over and over and over again because it was an amazing
Oh,
trailer.
you don't know how many times I froze the frames going, all right, what'd I miss? I mean, I'm
Right.
looking for teasers. I mean, they're packing them in there on purpose more and more now than ever.
Yeah.
Speaking of trailers, and then we'll get on to new comics today and our picks of the week. Planet of the Apes, once again, trailers galore. I have to say, I've been speaking highly of the CGI that's coming out. I'm
Mhm.
sorry. This has got to be the best CGI I have ever seen. These
Incredible.
apes are amazing.
Incredible. I love that. That's another great trailer. There's so many great trailers out now that some things get lost in the mix, and
Yeah.
that's one that I always forget to mention. That's a great trailer. Just the way it's cut, the way it's put together, it's different than just the bam, 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 bam kind of trailers that you get for most superhero and pop culture trailers. It just that one shot where it starts on Caesar's face and pulls back slowly with his arm raised, and then the apes jump. Like it gives me goosebumps.
Oh yeah, I'm getting goosebumps right now. You're describing it, for sure. And you're right. Most of the trailers are high intense. And that they have the same, what is that Michael Bay, yeah, really? Oh, come on, get over that. Very intense, get your heart pumping. But these trailers here have a little bit of a mix of both. You'll see in one of the in one trailer, you see Caesar with the war paint and his army behind him, and they're riding the horses. But then you start to get some emotional feelings out of it. You get a feeling of sadness as he's looking at a camcorder of when he was a baby and seeing him talking to what's his name? I forgot the actor's name. That was
Franco.
Yes.
Franco? Yeah.
And you see like emotion on his face where that's huge. If you can pack action and get a sense of sadness or emotional feel in a trailer like that, that's amazing.
Well, Andy Serkis is. I know he's kind of a household name now, but I still feel like he's the best kept secret of all these movies. And I know there's been people trying to get him Academy Award nominations for certain roles and everything, and he just deserves it. I mean, the guy is just he is the Michael Jordan of what he does.
Oh yeah, I agree.
There's nobody who does it as good as him. And you watch him in other movies, and he's great. I'm looking forward to see what he's going to do in the new Star Wars movies. And I will go see the movie because of him. He is now an actor that I will go see a movie because he's in it, whether he's CG or not. I will go see a movie with him.
So will I. Mr. Glenn McAvee is tweeting me. What is he saying here? Are you guys on?
Shut that guy up.
No, he's saying, "Are you guys on?" I don't hear anything.
I was just recording.
No, yeah, we're live. It's going.
Because then I'll really kick Tim in the balls.
Let me just tweet that. Okay. No, we are recording. It is live. I can hear it on our end.
Okay.
As far as, I love the last movie. The emotional impact and that CGI, I swear you could feel like it was real. I mean, the capture of emotion, it's shocking.
Shockingly love that movie. Yeah. I did not expect to like it at all, and I watched it while I was on the road on Ghost Hunters International, so I watched it in some foreign country on a small screen, but I surprisingly loved it.
Yeah, and I walked in going, I'm not going to like this. This is not going to be my campy TV show movie, Planet of the Apes, which I love to this day. I'll watch it every now and then. I got them on DVD. I'll watch them. I enjoy them so much. But just the emotional impact and how they showed the CGI and Caesar was top notch. It's got to be the best CGI I've seen. I mean, right there is realistic as hell right there.
Right.
Also, guys, check out G.I. Joe's 50 years old this year celebration. Check out an article by Joe Nubb. He just put out there's a new toy coming up for 50 in celebration of the 50 years. It's the Hummer and 2 other characters there. It looks pretty cool. Check that out. Joe's all about his toys, and I want to see more GI Joe stuff. I really see nothing to celebrate the 50 years. We got Batman 75th year celebrations going on all over the place. Our local library, the Crandall Library here in Glens Falls, New York, is doing Batman Day, July 23rd, with guests, face painting, some cartoon showings, and just making it a whole day for Batman 75. So if you live in the Saratoga or even the Albany area, come on up. You might even see a couple of Fanboys Inc. members there as well during that day. So that's July 23rd, and it is New Comic Book Day as well. It's a Wednesday, so that's going to be really cool to see that. But yeah, Batman, Marvel's 75th year anniversary, a lot of stuff going on, and it's like crickets chirping about GI Joe. I mean, what's going on? 50 years.
Well, I mean, you had Superman 75th last year, and you had Batman this year. It's kind of overshadowing even GI Joe.
How can you overshadow the American hero, the greatest American hero? Wow, not the greatest American hero, Yo Joe. But yeah,
I haven't seen the second movie. I don't know if you did.
I did.
See the second movie. Yeah, exactly.
We're supposed to be celebrating and not bringing it down.
Sorry.
What movie? What movie are you talking? I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, that's part of the problem. If the movies were good, then maybe that people would be celebrating the 50th anniversary.
True. I celebrated a few years ago, ahead of the curve. I met Mr. Larry Hama at the Asbury Park Comic Con. Right? Yeah, at when it was still at Asbury Lanes, and I got a sketch of Storm Shadow. Nice. From him, and it's hanging in the headquarters. Once again, I love that man. The guy's so great to talk to. Yeah, so we might see some more toys come out before the year's over to celebrate. I don't think they're really pushing anything huge for comic-wise for the 50th year anniversary or 50th anniversary. So, if you like G.I. Joe, Yo Joe, start asking where the hell is all the celebrations? What are we going to get here? Well, we'll do a G.I. Joe Day. There's no G.I. Joe Day.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, for somebody who's been iconic, I mean, I think that was my very first action figure. I had the 12-inch with the AstroTurf hair. I think that was my very first action figure I ever had, was that. And it might have been my uncle's or whatever, but it was given to me, real clothes and everything. I'm like, really? This is pretty cool.
Yeah, I remember, I think my first one was Amigo Planet of the Apes.
Ooh, okay.
I don't know if that's around somewhere, but that would probably be worth some money.
Oh yeah, my first Amigo was Captain Kirk and Spock, and I had the rotating teleporter.
Mm-hmm, right.
I can smell the vinyl box right now. it's like old comic book smell. It never goes away. Guys, also it's a New Comic Book Day, right? So yes, and on my pull list for today. Ghost Rider #4. I am enjoying this as much as I bitched about it before coming out. That I was kind of upset that it went from 2 wheels to 4 wheels, and this spirit of vengeance is driving a car and his little kid. Nice twist, very Crow-esque. James O'Barr theme going on here. He died. This Ghost Rider died. A kid from L.A. comes back with this spirit of vengeance, but we're not sure if it's the spirit of vengeance because, as we've been told, the other Ghost Rider, either Johnny Blaze or crap, I can't remember the kid's name off the top of my head, is still there. So the Ghost Rider that we all know and love is still there. That spirit of vengeance is there. So it'll be interesting if we see the 2 cross. Amazing Spider-Man #3, Black Cat on the cover, and she's not happy from the events of what's going on with Spider-Puss, and we'll see more of what happens with Doc Ock in the future. New Avengers Annual #1. Yeah, big one on the list, The Elephant in the Room. Kirkman's brand new horror book, Outcast #1, comes out today, which I will be picking up. This is a little different from your zombie-esque Kirkman writing. It's basically about Kyle Barnes, who's been demonically possessed for years, and now he's just tired of it and looking for answers. But when he starts looking, he notices that finding out that what we know as Earth, or as Earth as we know it, might end very soon. So this is something interesting. I have not read it yet, but I'm interested. I'm not big into horror. I don't read the Walking Dead comic. I know, everybody quiet. Simmer down now. I watched the show. I kind of don't read it because I know the show is different than the comic, but there are some ties in there, and if I got far ahead, I might get spoiled. on some of the
No,
events that go on?
it's not bad. I mean, there are certain things that you
Yeah.
kind of get right away on the show if you read the book. I'm caught up. I'm
Okay.
one issue behind.
Okay.
128 is where I'm at,
How
and
close
it's
is it
good.
though? I mean, I know Daryl and Merle were never in the comic, and now
Right.
I hear Daryl might be in a comic now.
No, Kirkman's been saying for years that would never happen, but then again,
Yeah,
people
who
say lots
knows?
of things for years. It deviates and then comes back and deviates and comes back,
Okay.
and it's been doing that since season 1. The first episode, the pilot is almost exactly word for word the first book, and then the first trade,
Really?
and then it deviates from there way off. They go on this whole CDC thing that has nothing to do with the comic at all, and then it comes back to Herschel's farm, and then it goes back out to, so like it's constantly going away and coming back and going away, coming back. And then when they do pull little things from the comic into the show, they expand them a lot greater. Like what's going on at the end of season 4, which I know you don't watch, is kind of a little bit pulled from an arc of the comic, but
Okay.
it's expanded completely.
Okay.
So
Okay.
so it's great to be able to do both, because when you see Michonne for the first time, you already know who she is,
Right.
but then her character on the show has a life of its own. So
Right. Okay.
it's nice to see both, because if it was word for word the comic, the show would be boring.
Oh, by far, and I think that it wouldn't be as popular as it is.
Right. Exactly.
So anybody out there, if you'd like, my address is 106 Bay Street, Glens Falls, New York. If you want to send me a couple of the compendiums, that'd be great.
Outcast, Kirkman at New York Comic Con was talking about this last year.
Yep.
I sat in on the Image panel, and he's really excited about about Outcast #1, but I haven't read it yet either.
You got a phone call, Tom.
Yeah, I know. That's one of the Bluetooth lines going off, and I can't leave the computer.
Is that Tim Yates calling?
I hope not, because like I said, I'm gonna kick him in the nuts. But yeah, I'm looking forward to Outcast. I'm also, like, I haven't read anything this week yet, but I pulled Saga 20, which I'm very excited about, and hopefully we'll get to soon. And then I know with Justice League 31.
Yes, that's today as well. That's on my pull list as well. Batman and Luthor on the cover going head to head.
I haven't seen the cover yet. Yeah, I look forward to reading that and getting caught up on that. And I think there's an Aquaman that came out today too, right?
Yes, and I haven't. And as much as I want to, I've read some of the early Aquaman, and I just haven't been able to get back into it. My pull list is crazy. We're talking
I can imagine.
50, $60 a week, and I'm like, and I have a hard time. I'm still a week behind just because of our events that have gone on. But it gets tough. It gets real tough to try to keep up. And Joe and I were talking, because he'll get like 2 books a week.
Yeah.
And I got like 10, 15.
Right.
And I'm like, I read 15 books last night, so now I got Batman hanging out with Captain America on an alternate planet. It's like all these stories meld together, and here comes Hal Jordan. What the heck? So it gets hard to keep all the stories going together. And then of course you got your X-Men titles coming out.
Yeah, and then and I have to say I do love Comixology for that.
Right.
Mainly because I'm on the road so much, and it's hard to bring books with me everywhere, and just the fact that there's some books that I just never got around to, like Preacher, that I've been meaning to do for years, and they just had like a 99-cent sale for Preacher.
Yeah.
So I got like the entire thing, for a lot less than what it would have been in print, and it's always with me now. So when I'm making the trips up on the plane to Comic Book Man, I can sit there and read 3 or 4 issues and kind of get caught up. And I'll probably do the same thing with Outcast. And also the subscriptions too. Like I can subscribe on it, and then it just gets downloaded.
Now, do you feel that Comixology is working out very well, because it's an impulse buy? You're on a train or you're traveling, and you're like, I can't get to a comic book store. Well, I got my phone or my tablet. Let's check it out.
Well, it's not what it used to be. I don't know if you guys. I'm sure you guys talked about the Amazon sale.
Yes.
And I'm sure you guys talked about when Comixology got rid of the in-app purchases on Apple.
Yes.
But to put my 2 cents in on that, as somewhat of an informed person, because I'm both a publisher on Comixology and also a fan and a reader, to me, as a fan and a reader, I hate the idea, because I like the impulse buy of being able to go onto my iPad and go, oh, you know what, that's a title I haven't thought of in a while. Let me buy that. Click buy it, read it, done.
Right.
I can't do that anymore. Now you have to go to the website, and you have to, it's a little harder to do on an iPad or an iPhone, and you have to download it, and it's a bunch of steps in the middle of it. That's, as a fan and a reader, it's just a little bit of an annoyance, because it's the next step and it kills the impulse buy a little. As a publisher, it's great for us, because, and I know I've said this before, but when you used to buy things through Apple, when you used to buy in-app purchases on your iPad, Apple takes 30% off of the top of that.
Right.
and the publisher gets the remaining 50%, and Comixology gets the remaining 50%. So ultimately, Apple gets 30, Comixology gets 35, and the publisher gets 30. When you go to Comixology.com to buy it, you get 50-50 between you and Comixology.
Oh,
so
there
it's
you go.
actually
Okay.
better for the publishers. Not only that, but the sale to Amazon definitely will put a spotlight on some of the books, like ours, that just don't get that kind of mass audience, So I think overall it's a good deal. It's just a little annoying at the time to not be able to do the impulse buys.
Do you feel that might hurt some of the sales? We know internet people are lazy. Less clicks better. If I have to click
Yeah.
5 times going somewhere, screw you. I went 3 and I'm bored already. I'm out.
Absolutely. I think it will definitely affect that. I think other people will get used to it. The backlash from it, from fans, and from the online community has been awful. Like everyone's saying, oh, this is the big corporate empire taking over Comixology. But I've had great response from them. I met the owners of Comixology at San Diego last year. We talked about accelerators. We talked about Submit, and the Comixology Submit program, because that's a huge program for publishers, for small publishers. And I think those guys are pretty solid guys, and I think they made a shitload of money when they made that sale.
Oh, by far.
And I think they deserve it, because they built this thing out of nothing, and they made it competitive with everything else, and with Diamond and with everything else. And so they kind of deserve to be paid for their ingenuity, and for getting the books to the masses like they have been. So I think overall it's a good thing. But I think the online community just hated it right away, because there are multiple clicks. So it's going to turn some people off, but it's going to bring another audience in, and the publishers will get paid better than they would have if it was.
I totally agree with you. We talked about this obviously when the announcements first came out. The pros definitely outweigh the cons. Right now, going into Amazon, if you're an indie publisher, you will probably get accepted into their program a lot easier than possibly Comixology. You're going to get a huge fan base. The purchasing power and people that use Amazon is huge.
Right. Massive.
I think, and now it's easier now to get a book out there. And I think, the acceptance is going to be there. Amazon is a trusted name, no matter some people complaining it's a big corporate company, whatever. They're doing well. I mean, they're one of the biggest out there, obviously.
Yeah.
I think the pros way outweigh the cons here. For the small print guy, it's going to be great. I think we're going to see a lot of great sales. I'm going to see some growth. I think it's great overall.
And the most important thing to me, anyway, as a business, and also as a creative person, but like I said, art and commerce mixing, is that the beauty of Comixology is it's there forever. It's always something that could be purchased forever. So an audience can find you years from now. Yep. Whereas with the single issues going through Diamond, there's a limited shelf life for that.
It'll just go out of print.
And it goes out of print, and it's tough. It costs money to print some more. But the fact that we get a check from Comixology every quarter, not that it's a huge check, not that it's going to fund a book, but it's still a check that basically is going to come in forever, which is going to help go towards paying for pages of future issues and whatnot. So
and those free T-shirts Ronnie gives away. I love busting his balls. That was a fun con though. That was awesome.
Ronnie needs some business lessons, I think.
He is the best carnival barker I've ever seen, Tom.
So
he's amazing.
So great at that.
Oh my God, he's too funny. And the other elephant in the room, Anne Bonny, comes out today, number 2, and that is on my pull list. Tom, we talked with Tim and Adam about this.
Tim, by the way, just woke up.
Yes, I know. I saw him.
And wants to know,
I just saw him come online.
Wants to know if he should still come on, and it's really up to you at this point if you want to go longer or not.
We will probably.
Since we're talking about Anne Bonny 2 now, maybe this is a good time.
Okay, let me see if I can grab him. Hold on one second here. But better late than never, Mr. Tim Yates.
Yeah.
All right, we're calling Mr. Tim Yates here.
Come on. In his defense, he has been writing issue 3 of Anne Bonny, and we do have a deadline.
Yes.
So he has been probably staying up late every night.
And now he says it's busy.
During the day.
Now it says it's busy.
Oh, this guy.
Tim, what are you doing? Tim.
You're calling him on Skype?
Yeah. Tim Yates, are you there, sir? No Tim Yates.
Ah.
And there he goes.
Don't have my audio up. Hang on, is what he says right now.
Oh, okay. Why don't you give us your take on Ambani? Did Tim approach you with this idea just out of the blue? No pun intended.
Yeah, he basically has been working on this since he was in the Kubert School and before he started working on the accelerators, and we just formed such a great relationship with him on the accelerators. He really saved our ass a lot and made the book what it is today. Hello.
Hello.
Tom's here.
Okay, good. Okay, sorry about that.
Is this going to be unedited when it goes up?
We might have to.
Have to snip a little bit.
Yes.
Any word on Tim?
No, he's part of the group chat or group call. Yeah, it's still ringing, so we'll figure it out. But yeah, okay. So Tim approached you with this idea.
Yeah, so after we basically had a few issues out and we had formed a good relationship with Tim, he showed us what ultimately became the cover for issue 1, and then a couple of pinups that he had done for Anne Bonny. And right away, we were just kind of in love with the art. I mean, the art is just incredible, especially that cover for issue 1. And so we were kind of hooked right away, but we were still kind of figuring out the whole business and figuring out the infrastructure of a publishing company and figuring out how to get accelerators to continue. And so we weren't quite ready for it yet. And then the more we talked to him, the more we got excited about it and jazzed about it being our next book. And then we sat down and Tim and I had a meeting to try and figure out where the book was going, because he didn't really have a full arc written out. He just kind of had an idea of who the characters were and where they were going. And so we sat down and we kind of hacked out the first 3 issues and where it would go. And then he wrote us a script for 1. And then at New York Comic Con, we announced that we were picking the book up.
Nice. I was there for that. I think we took some pictures of the actual signing, so that was pretty cool.
Yeah, you were there. You were definitely there for that. And that was exciting. And then the sales on issue 1 blew the accelerators out of the roof, and was great. And part of that is just because, we had built, like I said, the infrastructure as a publisher, and then we were able to promote Anne Bonny too. And a lot of it was just the art. The art captured a lot of people's attention.
I love the style. We've talked with Tim about his style, and and I love it. It's a fun read. It, like I said, the cover artwork for 1 was eye-catching.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, look!
Incredible.
Look who's calling us.
Oh.
Hello?
Yo.
Tom, are you still there? Oh, man, this is really getting crazy here. Hold on.
Did I blow it?
Yeah, it killed Tom, but we'll get him back on. Guys, you're listening to us live with all the background mishaps, but we are here now. Thomas Mum and Mr. Tim Yates. Where the hell you been, buddy?
We're live?
You are live. Yeah, we've been live since for the last hour.
Well, somebody went through my house and just changed all the alarm clocks that I set.
Is that the best excuse you could come up with?
No, yeah, it's those gnomes that they get you. They steal your socks and then they turn off the power and stuff.
Oh my God, that's too funny. Let's see if we can get Tom here. No, I can't get Tom back on.
Oh man. Well, it says he's.
Yeah. Let's try this again.
Huh. It says he's on.
Yeah, no, he's on. We were just talking with him. You're listening to the mishaps behind the scenes here. So I know you've been busy writing, so I'm sure you were up late last night writing.
Yeah, well, I hadn't slept for about 30 hours. I had because I went to a summer league game. I'm part of an ultimate frisbee league, so I was writing for a lot, and then I went to a summer league game, and then I finally went to sleep, and then I slept for about 12 hours.
Oh man. Jesus.
Yeah, so I just feel like I got hit by a truck.
Sorry about that. Oh, that sucked. That does suck. We were just talking about Anne Bonny coming out. That was our picks or our pull list for the week as we're going through it.
Yeah.
Obviously, our local shop, the Comic Depot, just inside Saratoga Springs at 514 Broadway, to meet all your fanboy needs, has Anne Bonny on the shelves. You're working on issue 3 right now, but how's it been? We talked to you when issue 1 came out. Sales going through the roof for you guys. How's it been going to some of the cons and the just the fan reactions with that?
It's great. Everybody who's seen it loves it. I'm really excited to see the feedback. What you think? Have you seen it?
I have not gone down to get it yet. I have Ambani 1, of course. I don't have 2 yet. So Ambani 1, I loved it. Like I said, we said this I think when you and Adam were on it. Just a fun read. The art is different than what's out there. It's fun. I don't know. Like we were just saying with Tom that the cover art for #1 was amazing. It's eye catching. I see that you got shirts made of it now. I just think it's fun.
Yeah, I'm excited to see how it does because the first one sold out through Diamond.
Yes.
So
Now, did you do a reprint or a second edition?
No, we still have a lot of issues left, so we're not nearing the reprint threshold.
Okay.
But we're close to 5,000 for the first book.
Really?
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Let me see if I can get. Why is this on hold? We got Tom over there.
Yeah, I've got him. It says he's part of the call.
Yeah, I know, and he's not.
Oh,
that's really weird.
You want to start over and call both of us back?
Let me see if I can get him onto the group. Here we go. It's calling. Anyway, hello. Are you there, sir?
Hey there, little guy. How you doing? You awake?
Yeah, I know. Got my beauty sleep. What's up?
You need to keep going if that's the case. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, right. Well, everybody, welcome back after we had a little bit of mishap as Thomas Mom and Mr. Tim Yates via Skype. Tom, we were just talking about the artwork and just some of the fan reactions that we were going on with Tim. Tim's excuse for not showing up today was because somebody went in and changed all the times on his clock. So, that's happened to me. So, it might be plausible. I'm not sure. But
I'm so glad we're doing this live, by the way.
Yeah, exactly. Like, is any of that going to be cut out, or is it?
No, it's all going to be raw. It's all going to be raw. Now we'll do.
Let the fans let everybody see the real.
The real deal.
I was just saying such nice things about you too, Tim.
Oh man, I should have just stayed in bed then.
Come on, we got to give our fans what they want. They want it live. They want it uncensored and raw. Come on, Tim. Now you're going to be at Florida SuperCon?
Yeah.
Nice, nice. And now you guys when you go to a con, like obviously Ambani 2 is out. How many copies of books do you guys usually bring? Like when the accelerators are out, do you bring like a ton of books?
Well, we're learning. We used to bring a lot of books. And now we've kind of realized that sometimes too many is too much. With shipping and getting them out there, we took so many to San Diego Comic-Con that we just it cost us more money to ship stuff back than it did than we made in sales. So we're kind of learning as this whole thing goes on, and also trying to just figure out what demand is for each. So and then we also have it kind of streamlined as far as we have everything in short boxes now and everything boarded and bagged and kind of ready to go. So ultimately, I think we're going to bring about 50 copies each of the 6 accelerators. We'll bring a little more of 1 and a little more of 6, and then Ambani 1 will bring probably a little over 100 or more, and then we may bring like an extra box as backup since we are driving to this one, so we drive them back home as opposed to having to ship them. Ambani 2 will bring a bunch. Tim just did a con in Emerald. He did that Emerald one.
No, it was Eternal Con.
Eternal, that's what it was.
Yeah, in New York, Long Island.
Right.
Oh, how'd that go?
Selling out.
Oh, it was great. We I sold a ton of Ambani. There was a lot of on Sunday. There was a lot of Father's Days con goers with their families, and they were excited about it. All ages pirate comic. The regular goers who hadn't heard of it were picking it up, and some people even showed up just to get the issue too because they had it early.
Oh wow, that's really cool. Now was that the one in Long Island?
Yeah.
How was the overall turnout for that one, Tim?
It was good. I mean, it had a lot of traffic. It was in the Aviation Museum, so there was a lot of so there was 3 floors and a lot of statues everywhere and monuments for the aviation. It was really cool.
Nice,
nice. Really cool venue.
We were saying, Tom and I were talking earlier, there was 4 cons that weekend.
Yeah. So I don't know.
And that's what's pretty amazing. There were 4 cons that weekend, and he still sold out of Ambani 1 and 2s that whole weekend. And for SuperCon, we also were having sketch covers printed, so those I should actually get today. And it'll be kind of the parchment of the Ambani covers, but it'll be blank, so Tim can actually, make his mark.
Nice.
On on sketch covers. And then we had T-shirts made, which I showed you one earlier. And so I'm excited to get those out into the world too.
Very cool, very cool. Yeah, well, you'll keep Tim busy. And now when we were at Asbury, Tim was busy as well, sketching away.
Yeah.
And you that's got to be something fun too, just coming up and having people just. Now when you do it, it wasn't just like all Ambani sketches. They were for different characters or whatever, correct?
Yeah. What's his name? The guy from Impractical Jokers had me draw his girlfriend.
Oh, BQ. Oh, Quinn.
No,
Yeah.
Quinn?
Yeah,
Really?
Quinn. Yeah.
Wait, at EternalCon?
Yeah. No, not
No,
Eternal.
no, Asbury.
Asbury, really? Oh, that's cool. I didn't realize Quinn had showed up and stopped by our booth.
Yeah. No, he came by and he saw me drawing Captain America, and he said, "Hey, can you draw her?" And I was like, "Sure."
Oh yeah,
Nice.
I think I was standing right there because it was right after the comic book men panel.
Yeah, yeah.
I
told him not to be creepy or anything. Could you send me a picture for reference? I didn't know how to say that properly without sounding like a.
You're talking to Quinn.
Yeah.
It wouldn't have mattered.
I love that, man. I'm looking forward to seeing him soon. Hopefully he'll swing by some of the poker.
Tom, you got to check out the video that we put up of the comic book men panel. Q actually was there asking questions, asking Ming and Brian some questions.
He asked about the Malaysian plane, right?
Yeah, Flight 370. Yeah. Oh my God, I laughed my ass off. Oh my
and then
God.
he asked another one. Yeah, I heard the panel. I wish I was there.
Oh, it's too funny, too funny. Now, yeah, and Tim did a sketch for us, for Fanboys Incorporated as well. It's here hanging in the studio of Ann Bonnie wearing a Fanboys Inc. T-shirt. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, the sketches weren't rolling at EternalCon because what I gathered was that a lot of the art hunters had gone to special edition.
Okay.
Because that's where the more bigger names. I mean, Adam Kubert and Amanda Connor were at EternalCon, so they drew in a lot of traffic. But I just got the feeling that the art hunters that you'll usually see at a con, especially in New York, all went to special edition.
Gotcha.
So it was more. Eternal was more comic book fans then.
Yeah, it was more comic book fans and a lot more local traffic. People who lived in Long Island didn't feel like going into the city.
Yeah, and Archon was Sunday as well in Albany, so that's about 3 hours north from New York City and Long Island, and our turnout was huge too. We were kind of concerned to figuring that, you have Cliffs on Saturday, which is cool. That's not running into ours. It's not a 2-day con. I couldn't make it, but I heard the turnout was great. Mark McKenna, my good friend Mark, was there at Cliffs, and then drove home that night to come to the Albany con as well. So we were talking about the turnouts, and he was shocked to see that even with 4 cons going, obviously you got the New York one is probably maybe the biggest. I mean, I have to say, though, Cliffs is growing so big that it's awesome what he's done in the last 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, and Cliffs was first.
So I know that deal.
He ended up getting a lot of artists before the special edition one was even announced.
And we all have our thoughts on why that special edition was made. But we'll keep that on another podcast. But the turnout for the Albany one too was amazing. We were shocked. We figured, all right, some people who live in the area are going to go to New York City or to Long Island or to Cliffs and not spend. The vendors were kind of concerned. With their money's not going to be spent. They've already spent it on Saturday, or they're going to stay Saturday and Sunday down there. And it wasn't the case. It was really cool to see that they beat last year's attendance, and there was no cons that year. On Father's Day. So it was really cool to see that. And once, like you and I talked, Tom, the Geek Renaissance shows how many people are involved and how many people actually come out now.
Yeah.
And I think it's great.
Well, Florida SuperCon is a good example. The last few years, Mike Broder has had it at an airport, DoubleTree, convention center, and it was big. It was a good size, but last year it was max capacity, so he had to move it to the Miami Beach Convention Center, and he has like 3 times as much space this year, and and I'm sure it'll still be packed. It's still going to be a big draw.
Well, Cliff just moved his too.
Yeah. You're talking about Asbury?
Yeah, he moved it. It's not in Asbury anymore.
Really?
Yeah. You didn't see his posts?
No, I haven't. I've been locked in my office.
New York East Comic Con or East New York Comic Con? Yeah.
Oh, it's not Asbury Park Comic Con anymore?
No, he moved.
Oh, where's he going to?
Hold on one second.
He's in the Meadowlands.
Oh yeah, the Meadowlands.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow, that's going to be big then. That's going to be probably like Harbin Carden area. That's going to be huge.
Yeah. So I mean, you're growing there. I mean, that's huge.
Yeah.
So like you said, we're riding the wave and seeing how well this goes out. Now, obviously, with Ann Bonnie doing very well. Now, Tim, you were in top 400 for Diamond with issue 1.
Yeah, we were 350.
Nice.
340 something. It was So we'll
which
see.
Is huge. Which is huge for a book. For a publisher, for us, that's huge for our size, and to be up there. I mean, we were ahead of a bunch of books from major publishers, which was great. It was great to see that kind of response, and the response for 2 has been phenomenal too. And I think 2, as far as the story goes, it opens up the world a little bit more, and we get to meet a lot more characters and a lot more situations that Ariana gets herself into.
Yeah, we've got elves. We've got more.
Any donuts? Any donuts? Come on. When is there going to be an interpublishing crossover here?
I've got to save the crossover. I need to establish my own world first, and then I can throw in the time travel stuff with Ronnie.
Oh, I think a crossover would be amazing. I think that would be so cool.
I still haven't figured out how it makes sense, but it's gonna happen. It doesn't need to make sense.
No, it's time travel. Have you not read Marvel's time travel books at all in the last 10 years?
Well,
15 years?
you've seen you've seen Alexa's hair, right? I mean,
yes.
Oh, yeah. And you've seen Aunt Bonnie's hair.
Yeah.
So
yeah. We only put out books with strong redheaded female characters.
Yeah. So just connect the dots.
Was that for Ronnie's? Was that for Ronnie's benefit right there, the red hair comment?
No, yeah, right, exactly.
Now it's got crossover potential.
I would love to see that, and I think that would be very cool to see that. Now, how many issues are we going with this, Tim? Is this an ongoing thing, or are you going to do a 6-issue story arc? What are your plans?
Somebody asked Tim the other day, and I think it was at EternalCon, and they said, how many issues you're going to do, and Tim said all of them. That was a great.
I love that. Okay, you heard it here first. Tim's gonna do all of them.
I'm gonna do all of them until I'm McFarlane status. Then I'm gonna get somebody else to do all of them.
Oh, and then you're gonna buy baseball for $1.5 million.
That's what I'm. Wait, what?
That's what McFarlane did.
He bought a baseball team?
No, bought a baseball.
Oh, bought a baseball. Yeah. Just one single baseball?
Yeah, I forgot who it was. Shit.
Was it McGuire's or
yes, yeah, it was McGuire's baseball for like 1.2 or 1.5 million now. I don't know. Don't ever do that.
Yeah, you know it's the right one. He probably got gypped. They probably just sent up some random baseball.
Yeah, right. And somebody, just forged a signature on it. Now,
right, like the Sandlot, somebody just wrote Babe Ruth on it.
Yeah, right, exactly. Now, guys, question for you both. Obviously, Tim's doing all of Ann Bonnie. We know that Accelerators was a 6-issue arc. Now, Ronnie has hinted in the past there possibly might be more. Is there anything possibly you can tell us more, Tim or Tom?
Yeah, I had a meeting with Ronnie, a phone meeting with Ronnie the other day to talk about 7 through 10, and he actually owes us the script for issue 7 by 4th of July. And as soon as he gets that to us and we get back from SuperCon, then Gavin will start. He'll start on issue 7. And then Ann Bonnie, issue 3 comes out in October. And then overall, just now that we're kind of getting our footing and we're figuring everything out, we're just going to take a little bit of a publishing break so we can stockpile issues. Mm-hmm. Our plan, since we're kind of from the film TV world, our plan is to try and release these different series as almost like television seasons, where almost a little bit like what Saga's doing, where they do 6 and then they take a break, and they don't take a production break, they just take a publishing break, and they stockpile issues in production and then release monthly.
Okay.
And that's kind of what we're thinking and what we want to do is after Tim's done with 3, he's going to present us with 4 through 6 in an outline, and then we'll start production on 4 through 6. And then sometime in 2015, we'll release monthly Ann Bonnie 4, 5, and 6, and then a 1 through 6 trade.
Okay.
And then after that's done, it's almost kind of like when Walking Dead is over, then the next week is Mad Men, and then when Mad Men's over, then the next week is the premiere of Breaking Bad, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I like.
We're going to kind of release along that line, so this way we can get the stuff out monthly, at the worst bi-monthly, but probably monthly. So Ann Bonnie will go out, and then the Accelerators will go out, and it'll be just a constant stream over a 6-month or 7-month period, and then we'll do a second trade for Accelerators, and then we'll just keep that train rolling, and it'll be Ann Bonnie, and then we'll take a break and publish and produce some more, and then we'll release Accelerators, and then we'll take a break, produce some more, and we'll just keep going until
I like that idea.
All get sick of it. So it will be a little bit of a break between Ann Bonnie 3 and Ann Bonnie 4, but you will then be able to get 4, 5, and 6 bang, bang, bang.
Very nice, very cool. I do like that concept. Doing 6 issue story arc, put a trade out, do 6 more, put a trade, and vice and alternate titles. I like that idea.
Yeah, and it just seems like we're always chasing deadlines. It seems like since Accelerators 1 came out, we've just been chasing deadlines because we've been announcing when things are going to come out, and then we have to hit the deadline. And he's starting to explode. He's oversleeping through podcasts, because he's tired. All he's been doing is working for the last year, So this gives him a chance to kind of get 4 through 6 done as almost one complete thing, as opposed to scrambling to get 2 out, scrambling to get 3 out. And it gives him a chance to just focus on 4 through 6.
Right, and on top of that, you got con season. I mean, so that's got to interfere a little bit too with the work schedule. Going to all these cons.
I don't know what con season is. Con season seems to be January through December these days. It's not like it used to be.
For us, our con season's now. It started in March, and we go all the way through November.
Yeah, it probably does start in March. March to November sounds about right. But that's huge. That's like NASCAR season. That's like baseball season. It's not. Yeah. It's not football season, which is a few months and then it's
over. You could be. I guess there is no season. I mean, I guess it depends on where you are located geographically. I mean, for us on the East Coast, it's March through November. I mean, obviously, San Diego's obviously in July, but there's other ones going on in December and January.
Every weekend is filled with something, somewhere. But yeah, to me, it's like MegaCon and New York Comic Con is kind of the season.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Because MegaCon's even before Asbury Park, so MegaCon to New York is the season to me. Okay. But that's pretty much the whole freaking year.
Yeah, pretty much.
And Christmas in there.
And I know Tim and Gavin, those guys go to little smaller cons as well too. So you guys are all busy and representing and showing off the books, which I think is great.
Right.
Like I said, there's more and more cons coming up every year. Give you guys more and more exposure. I think it's great overall. Tim, I know you're not fully awake, and that's cool. That's all right, man. It's.
No, I appreciated that. I appreciated that great breakdown from Tom. I got to take a nap.
That's what happens when we have our meetings. I talk and he takes naps.
And
then we come out with a good product at the end. So who cares? As long as it works.
Yeah. Just make sure that everything's in a email transcript. I'll read it later. Hit the snooze. I'm out.
Right.
Now, MegaCon or SuperCon is next week. SuperCon is next week. And then after that will be just New York City. So you guys get a couple months.
Yeah, we got a couple months to make books.
Nice.
Yeah, we'll have a small presence at San Diego this year. We're going to have like a corner booth, part of a corner booth like we did last year. None of us are going to go out there, but my friend Terry Cronin, who does a book called Students of the Unusual, we usually share a booth with him and Mike Kingston from a book called Headlocked. We share a booth at San Diego because it's just so hard to get in,
Headlocked. Is that the wrestling book?
Yes, it is. Yes. Yeah, Mike Kingston's a good buddy of ours.
I didn't know that. Really?
Yeah, he'll be at SuperCon with us too.
Okay. I think we've had him. I think he was at the Albany Con last year.
Oh, great. Yeah, he's a great guy. Friend of the family. And then Terry Cronin, who introduced me to Mike, has been an invaluable help to us because he started doing this 5 years before us, so he had a lot of knowledge that he passed on to us. And we help each other out at cons. He'll be at Florida SuperCon also. Kingston will be there. Kingston's Kickstarter went really well. So I think he's going to release books based on the Kickstarter at SuperCon. And then Gavin will be there signing and doing sketches and commissions. And Tim and Gavin, they're an interesting pair to have around, especially to go out and get drunk with after.
Oh yeah, the after parties at cons are like the best.
Yeah, Gavin gets
Ronnie, I've gone to a couple with Ronnie. Holy shit. I thought I bounced from person to person more than anybody else, but holy crap, he's like the social butterfly. Bing, bing,
Dude
bing,
can
bing,
work
bing.
a room. He can work a room.
Oh my God, he can work a room. Guys, thank you so much for listening and hearing the raw, uncensored versions with our technical difficulties. My pick of the week for this week. I'm going to do two, obviously.
Come on, buddy. Come on.
No pressure.
No pressure.
Wait. Hang. What? How could you do the pick of the week? You haven't even read them yet.
How do you know?
Well, you just said you hadn't.
But I don't have to read them to be. It couldn't be this. It doesn't have to be a book that came out this week.
You have our review site. Okay. You have our review site.
I do.
Go read everything that's up there. Two's been up on the review site for a little while.
Yeah.
So just check back on the review site.
So Tim, why are you getting all defensive here?
Well, no, I was just wondering your process. I wasn't necessarily.
It could be something. It doesn't even have to be a new comic. It's just my pick of the week.
Nice. All right. Now that we know what the pick of the week is, go.
And Bonnie number 2.
Woo! Yay! Oh, I was nervous there.
I have 2. And Bonnie number 2, obviously. Check it out.
Tim. We're tied.
Yes, you're tied. Definitely check this out. If you haven't, you can still get Anne Bonny #1 on Comixology. I know that the Comic Depot might have 2 copies left because they did buy a good amount. Check them out. And if you can buy them on the website as well, correct?
You can buy them on bluejuicecomics.com, and you can also buy them on our Shopify site, which is blue-juice-comics.myshopify.com. Or Facebook. You can go to Facebook.
You know what, Tom? How about you put that in a Facebook chat for me because I have no idea what you just said about that Shopify. Holy crap!
Shopify. They make it. They make you join Shopify in order to make a Facebook store. So that's what we had to do.
Okay.
If
you can just shoot that in a quick Facebook chat for me, that copy paste that link, and we'll put that up on our podcast page. Check that out, guys. Really fun pirate story. I'm telling you, it's great. We'll have Tim on again.
Pirates, Magic, and Adventure.
Yes. We'll have Tim on again when he's awake and somebody stopped fucking with his clocks in his house.
Yeah, I think we're gonna do this again next week, just so I can be on time.
Well, next week we're not even. We got something special next week.
Oh, so I get to run it next time.
Yes, you get to run it. You gonna show up on time?
Cannot guarantee. You cannot guarantee.
Can't guarantee nothing.
Can I plug something that's not comic related, but is one of our films that just went out?
Sure. Go right for it.
Well, you sounded like you weren't sure there.
No, because I was thinking about if I had another pick or not. I'm gonna do my other pick, but yeah, go for it, man.
Okay. A short film that we made a little while ago is up on YouTube. We just released it this week, and it's our children's adventure story. It's a group called Popsock and Wendell, and the movie is called Popsock and Wendell versus the Sky Pirates. And we shot it a few years ago, and it finally made it over to YouTube. And I just wanted people to check it out. So you can go to the Blue Juice Films YouTube or Vimeo channel and check it out. It'll be right on the top. And it's a crazy little action adventure, 5-minute short film that incorporates live action, puppetry, 3D animation, 2D animation, virtual worlds, and it's pretty insane. We're friends with a lot of puppeteers, including John Kennedy, he's like the right-hand man for Elmo.
Oh, nice.
He's done Fozzie Bear and Animal and all this sort of stuff. He's a really great guy that's local here in Orlando, and he helps us build the puppets and make the little puppet stories. And they're basically like little characters from a feature film that we're trying to get made and trying to get financed.
Okay,
so that's
cool.
Just on the Blue Juice film side. So
Awesome.
Check it out.
And we'll have that video up on the podcast page as well. We'll put that video right up there
awesome.
so you guys can watch it right on that page or go over to Blue Juice Films over on YouTube as well.
Yeah, that would be awesome. And that's my pick of the week.
That's your pick of the week? Nice.
That and Saga 20.
Saga 20, okay.
Outside the Blue Juice world is Saga 20.
Nice. Outside the Blue Juice world, I'm going to take a chance on this because this is the one that I have not read. Outcast #1 by Kirkman.
Yeah.
Check that out. If you're into horror, you know what he can do, so check it out. I will probably guarantee you by midnight tonight you will not be able to buy a copy. I have a feeling this is going to sell out if it hasn't already.
No, I read the news on that. It outsold Walking Dead.
Wow.
Whoa!
By a lot.
Well, wait a minute. Outsold Walking Dead what? #1?
This week?
Well, it outsold whatever the last 2 issues of Walking Dead came out. It outsold it by a lot. And they have a new they're kicking off a new arc, I think, in Walking Dead. I don't actually keep up with it, but
yeah, they are. They finished all that war and they're moving on to the new.
Kirkman is a genius.
Yeah, without any variant covers or any like box deals or anything like that. These are just pure sales. It outsold Walking Dead.
Wow.
And so it just beat out Image's like
#1 book.
Like #1 ever.
Yeah.
Wow.
Kirkman's a genius. He's almost. I mean, I'm sure it's gone to his head, but he's pretty much untouchable at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, in anything he does. I mean, comics. I mean, obviously
TV
the TV show.
Right.
I mean, now he's got possible movie rights going on. This man is like a force to reckon with right now. I mean, this is nuts.
Well, I mean, he's a commodity. There's not too many people that are household names like him in the comic world, these days.
Oh, by far. Definitely not. Crazy. But yeah, guys, if you can, you know what? If you can't get a hard copy, Comixology's got it, and they'll never go out of print or out of sale. So go check it out at Comixology.com and check that book out. If you do take my recommendations on Anne Bonny #2, or make sure you get Anne Bonny #1, or Outcast from Image #1, shoot us some comments. You can tweet me at Fanboys Inc. If you can give us a quick review, a nay or yay, or you liked it, in under 140 characters, hit us on Twitter. If not, you can go over to facebook.com/Fanboys Inc. and leave us a longer review. I'd love to hear what you guys think of Ambani, the accelerators, obviously, as well, as issue 6 came out a few months ago, and that's over with now, and hopefully we'll get to see 7 soon. But yeah, we'd like to hear your comments. Where can they hit you guys up? Tom, where could they hit up some comments and reviews for you guys?
Twitter is at tommum.com, TOMMUMME, not .com, just at tommum. Facebook, you can look up The Accelerators or Ambani or Blue Juice Comics. And then also Twitter is at Blue Juice Comics.
Very nice, very nice.
We're all over the place. You can find us anywhere.
Yeah, pretty much. And you can find all their links on our page as well. You can find them right on the homepage there. And when Tim is awake, you can tweet him where?
Wait, what?
I'll take care of that.
We're podcasting? I'm Yates Comics.
Tim, stop touching yourself.
No, you caught me. That's
Thank God there's no video.
I almost video chatted you at the start. You would have been blinded by my greatness.
Oh boy, by your greatness.
My greatness. At Yates Comics on Twitter.
Okay.
And yatescomics.com is my website/blog that I never update. So you can go see. I think the last post I made was the wrap up for MegaCon.
Oh my!
In March.
He also is looking for somebody to help update his blog, so you can.
Yeah. If any bloggers out there want to help me get this thing rolling, I got a lot of great ideas. And, the Ambani page, the Blue Juice page, you can find me anywhere. I accept all friend requests on Facebook. I have a lot of people friend requesting me now, who just read the comic, and I don't even like vet people anymore. I'm just like accept.
Wow, you're that guy, huh?
I'm that guy.
Oh
yeah.
Boy.
I'll hit 5,000.
Can we do a little bit of business? When do you think the script for issue 3 will be in my greedy little hands?
Tonight. I already promised it would be done this morning, and it wasn't. So it'll be done tonight.
All right, there you go. You hear it live first.
All right.
Yes.
This does hold up in court of law, by the way. So we will. This will be recorded and sent.
That's a verbal agreement.
It's a verbal agreement. All right, guys. Oh my God, that's too funny. Guys, thank you so much. Also, guys, check us out. Subscribe to us on Stitcher and iTunes. Leave us a review over there. Help us out. Keep us on the air. Like I said, we'll be. Oh crap! I forgot. Before we go, I want to say thank you to everybody that came out to our very first live event, the Sip and Sketch event in Gaffney's down in Saratoga. It was last Wednesday. I got to say, I wish Joe was here. He is not here today, but it went so well. We're so happy to keep our sponsor, Larceny Bourbon. All of you that came out, I'm glad you had a great time. There's some great art that was made. And a special thank you to our guest, Mr. Mark McKenna, that we did the podcast with. That will be up next week, as we have 2 special podcasts going up next week. We will not be live, but you'll be able to listen to that Sip and Sketch podcast, and also as well as my Creator Spotlight panel that I moderated at the Albany Comic-Con. But guys, thank you so much for the Sip and Sketch. You guys were great. Look for it coming to a town near you. There's a lot of stuff going on. We're going to be traveling a lot with this event. So guys, thank you so much. Tom and Tim, thank you so much for joining us. Always a pleasure with you guys. It sucks. I got to wait till New York City to hang out with you guys. Maybe I'll crash the set, when you and at the stash one day and just
yeah, please do.
And then see what's up. I love hanging out with Mike and Ming and talking with those guys. Anything else you want to plug? Anything else, Tom? You got?
What, that wasn't enough?
Hey, man, I'll give you the floor for an hour. You want to plug? You can plug everything.
Wait, I didn't get to do my pick of the week.
Oh, you have a pick?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so sorry,
I
sir.
think we just assumed it would be Ambani too.
Yeah, or better
No.
clocks.
No, Game of Thrones, the season finale was awesome.
Oh
Okay.
my God, that's
Okay.
That's a whole nother hour podcast.
No, it wouldn't be because
So great.
I can't stand that show.
Oh, best show on TV.
I can't get into it.
How far did you get?
What's that?
How far did you get?
Episode 3.
Wow.
Yeah, well, yeah, the seasons get progressively better. I thought the first season was boring, and I'm a big fan of the books. So,
Okay. So I should
season
give it
2
another shot, huh?
Yeah, even season 2 was a little boring, but then season 3 just blows your mind.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's the best TV. It's better than any show that I can think of that's out
Oh,
there.
wait a minute. Breaking Bad was pretty goddamn good.
No, the Breaking Bad is over, so it's the best show on TV right now.
Yeah.
Right now. Oh, was
Yeah.
it the best show when Breaking Bad was on?
I think
No.
Okay. We cleared that up in a roundabout way.
it's pretty good though.
All right, I'll give it a shot. So that's your pick, was the season finale of Game of Thrones. Yes.
I concur.
Okay.
Yeah,
Sweet.
yeah. It's got the best TV fight scene you'll ever see.
Oh, very cool. Very cool. Awesome. So check that out.
Great.
Recommended by Tim Yates.
Yay.
Awesome, guys. Thank you so much for joining us, everyone, guys. Thank you. I hope you had a good time. Sorry, Tim, that we got you late. Go back, take a nap,
Yeah, no, I got work to do.
get fresh, get ready to go, man.
I
All right,
got
guys.
Bonnie to write.
All right, guys. We're out of
Thanks for
here.
having us on DW.
Thanks for having us.
Sorry I'm late.
No
But
problem.
thanks. You rock.
Peace. Later.
Bye.